Today on Brilliance Business TV, we have the wonderful Caroline Purvey. Caroline is a #1 best-selling author with her book, Feel It to Heal It, international speaker, CEO and founder of TRE UK. She created the Total Release Experience, a unique program to empower those looking to find freedom from unnecessary suffering. Her work is transforming lives. Stay tuned. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have another wonderful guest coming on today, Caroline Purvey. She's a great friend and she empowers those who are looking to end unnecessary suffering and find freedom. She has worked with people in the prisons, fire service, police. So she is the lady that you need to hear from to heal our past traumas. I'm really looking forward to a conversation with her. Before I get started, I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, and it's our new show sponsor, the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. So a big shout out to the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. We are streaming live on MSPnewsGlobal.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also on the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, Roku, and many, many more. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Caroline Purvey. Hi, Caroline. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Hi, Mark. It's just amazing to be here with you again. And thank you so much for the introduction.
It's my pleasure, Caroline. I have got to know you over the last year or so, and we've really built a great relationship. I know how passionate you are about the work that you do. You're really of service, really helping people to get through stresses, through trauma, and to heal. I want to just go back a little bit about your past and background first, to why you do the work you do today.
Well, thank you. That's a good. That is a good question to be asking, because I'm a great believer that everything that we do in life, it's part of our journey. And a very quick hodgepodge of my journey. You know, as a young single mum, I worked with young people. I then went into retailing business, so I got the business skills that I wanted. I did various voluntary jobs, and I also then went into further education and took 3 degrees. I ended up working in schools with young people, teaching business, so that all kind of fitted. When I'd done with my degrees, I then went into teaching yoga, holistic therapies, because I wanted to do something practical. And I fell in love with that. And I still teach yoga 30 years later. But when I came out of education and I started my own yoga studio business, I was told about a program which I had never heard of. And when I investigated, it was taking place in South Africa back in 2011. And I found myself on an aeroplane at a time I needed to be to visit my daughter, to support her with the delivery of her first baby. And also then in a venue with 99 other people at exactly the same time to discover something quite unique and extremely empowering. I stood up in front of 99 people around the world and I said, I'm going back to make this happen in the UK. And that's exactly what my vision and mission has been for the last 9.5 years. So when I opened my yoga studio, I started to teach the program that I'm teaching, and it has evolved my experience. It's been like cultivating a vaccine. But where I am today is I can sit here and say to you, I am an expert in my field, but I never stop learning.
That's amazing, Caroline, that you keep on working on yourself, keep on working so that you can give the best to your clients as well. Now, just explain a little bit, because I haven't done it as much justice as it deserves. Tell us a little bit about the work you do, all about healing and getting rid of all the stresses and trauma. Just go into a bit more detail there and tell us a little bit how you serve your clients with the program that you offer.
So the work that we do, let me put a little bit of science around it so that we understand it. This is about releasing tension from the body, but from a muscle that holds our upper body to our lower body. We call it the hidden treasure. It's the psoas muscle, PSOAS. The day we all come into the world, and we've all had that experience, there's the startle response. So that flinch before then fight, flight. Well, a baby cries and then it's wrapped and then it's loved. Mostly, not always, but then life begins. And throughout our journey, every stressful, overwhelming, traumatic experience we encounter, many of those experiences we may have long since forgotten. But we always go into those experiences with a flinch, a tonic freeze. And then it's about survival. And some situations take much more from us in terms of adrenaline and cortisol than we can imagine. And so that tension then gets stored in the body because we really don't have the tools, or we have forgotten to use the tools that nature gave us to survive. And as that tension accumulates in the body, as we get older, we start to notice physical, mental, and emotional pain. Whether that's back, hip, neck, shoulder pain, gut problems, can't sleep, mood swings, anxiety, panic, breathing is impacted, head fog, lack of concentration, relationships break up, blood pressure rises, and at worst, it's stroke, cancer, heart attack, suicide. And I really don't like that word at all. Yes. Nobody wants to take their own life. But to put that psoas muscle into context, we say everyone's a stress bucket, and we fill our bucket with our history. And because of that, we notice all of those symptoms starting to bang on the side of our bucket saying, are you listening to me? And there are some wonderful authorities such as Van der Kolk, the body keeps a score, Dr. Gabor Mate, the body says no. And they all are testimony that the body holds on to our history. And all of those negative experiences get stored in our body's muscle memory. So then we're like tension, tight tension. And we need to release that tension. And so the program we teach empowers the individual how to simply let go of that tension. It's very empowering, but it's very powerful. And when the tension goes, the history starts to move away, and then one can live the life actually they want and deserve and perhaps have never been aware of. Their full potential comes out to shine.
It's really important work that you're doing, and it's a different approach as well. It's probably quite a new thing for our audience to be listening to. But you have delivered your work for the prison service, for the fire service, for police. So if those kind of services are using your program, that's a testimony that your program works, Caroline. But tell us a little bit, because you have data that is supporting the program that supports mental health. So tell us a little bit about that, Caroline.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really important to us. So, okay, over the 9 years, we've worked with clients all around the world, and more so now. I'll come to that. You know, the joy of the program is it's unlike traditional therapies and modalities, everything comes from the outside in. And if we're going to experience real healing, only we have the key to unlock and turn on that tap of our stress bucket and heal from within. And that's where it starts. And over the years, we have gathered data from our clients, and we took on the services of a university in Kent who validated our data. And their findings were 99% improves physical, mental, emotional well-being, and not by chance. They extrapolated some of the data from a police group that we were working with at the time. And they found that they were working with higher than average anxiety and depression scores, which is a little bit worrying. It just shows how much they take on and work through. But at the end of the program, down over 60%. And that was 5 weeks later.
Wow. Those are big results, Caroline. And imagine if they carry on using this method, it's just going to get better and better. And may I ask how the pandemic impacted your business as well, Caroline?
Oh, absolutely. It's pivotal, Mark, for us, because we were traveling around the country. When I say we, my son Daniel, the program turned his life around after his life crisis when he was living in Germany. But we took workshops around the country, and it was something I've been doing for 8 years. And the year before the pandemic, we'd done almost 40,000 miles traveling from Land's End to John O'Groats.
That's more than my whole car's got on my clock from 6 years old.
We've done a lot of driving around the country, but it was the only way that I could get the program to people that didn't live in my town. I worked with clients online on Zoom, one-to-one, but I was teaching them everything. And when the pandemic hit, it was like, okay, we need a complete rethink here. And it's something we had talked about for a while, but we worked really hard and turned all our education and experience into online programs. So now we have 2 4-module courses, both with the same education, both with the same support. We support everybody wherever they are in the world, so it's not a faceless program. It's far too powerful for that. And every individual has their own history, and so their support they need, and that's very varied as well. So now, in the comfort of their own home, one can enroll on the program, start whenever they want. And when it comes to the practice itself, as one of the police officers said, my goodness, it's like you're in the room with me. And I know that those years of experience have pitched the audios that support the practice absolutely spot on, because for individuals to say, you know, what I was releasing was quite strong, but I kept going because I felt that I was supported. And that, you know, was phenomenal for me, because I'd always sat with the individuals that let go of their history. And so now we're reaching out around the world, and it's wonderful that people can heal where otherwise they'd given up hope.
So The great thing for you from the pandemic, Caroline, even though you've had to put in a lot of hours work to really get all this online, this just means you can serve far many more people now. So your work can go out and really affect the lives of a lot more people than previously to the pandemic. So you're helping more people. That's absolutely brilliant.
So it's wonderful, Mark. And just let me add that I spoke to a doctor from the World Health Organization. And a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, he said, "Are you ready for 80,000 people?" Now I'm saying, yes, we are.
Let's get those 80,000 people living the best life, healed and moving forwards into the positive light. Caroline, we're going to a commercial break. Please stay where you are. We have lots to cover. Thank you for joining us for part one of Brilliance Business TV. We are having a conversation with the incredible Caroline Purvey. We have talked about how we all have a stress bucket. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to fill your bucket with love? Find out more after the commercial break.
Hello, this is Stephen Buckner, and just wanted to tell you I support the Dreamweaver project. It's a great project where, you know, artists such as myself will be able to come together and basically collaborate and to have a retreat to feel accepted and welcome. And that's something that artists here and around the world could always benefit from. So I just want to say, please support the Dreamweaver project. I think it's for a great cause, and I salute all the independent artists out there and artists that are signed as well. And have a wonderful day.
Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV. We're having a conversation with the incredible Caroline Purvey. Caroline, how do you see your program supporting the mental health crisis?
Well, I'm pretty much aware that it's the same all around the world, that since the pandemic has impacted the lives of adults in many different ways because their situations changed, and in turn the children. And we're hearing more and more as schools are returning, particularly in the UK, very close to home, that children are suffering. What tools have they got? By empowering adults, they can teach their children, because children carry forward into their adult life their stresses and traumas from their childhood. And this is an opportunity to break those chains. Now, we all know that the key services on offer are counselling. And I have it on good authority, and it is in my book by Professor Gordon Turnbull, world-leading voice with trauma psychology. And the first thing he ever said to me was, we cannot talk it out the body. We have to get it out the body. And he's absolutely right. On the news just this morning, I heard that there are months and months of waiting times for young people to get support. What do they do in the meantime? Only yesterday, I had an anxious grandmother get in touch and say, my granddaughter's gone back to college. She's absolutely a mess in terms of her anxiety, and she's looking to give up her course. And I said, look, her bucket's full. As soon as she can engage with the program, that'll change. Well, let me tell you, I had a phone call at 10 o'clock last night. Having spoken to the young lady the day before, and I explained what was going on, her grandmother gifted her the course. I had a phone call last night, very late, But the grandmother was on the phone to the mother, who was in another country in the world, very worried about her daughter. And she said, I cannot believe the transformation in my daughter. I am talking to a different young lady. And I have it now from the grandmother that the mum is so happy that she knows her daughter is going to be safe. And so how can we help? Getting in touch with schools. And we're already talking to schools now. Getting in touch with service sectors, spreading the word. And I'm working with, I started work with a lovely man in Nairobi this morning, because we also support countries where they're deprived, where trauma is just everyday life. And he started the program just this morning, and I'm going to teach him to work with his community. We've done the same with Malawi. When I visited there, 9 adults learned with me, now 29, reached out to over 4,000 children. It's a game changer.
From what I am hearing, Caroline, your program can support so many different people, from police, fire service, children, countries that are suffering, police. Who can do your program?
Well, it's interesting, you know. So many times I'm asked, well, who's your market? Who's your niche? Well, I can niche all sorts. I can niche conditions. I can niche through occupation, from care workers, NHS workers, to even hairdressers standing on their feet all day, chefs in kitchens. Everyone has stress. It's part of life.
Yes.
And everyone goes through different traumas, and trauma is what it is to each individual.
It's universal, isn't it, Caroline?
It is. And I say that, you know, yes, of course, talking isn't for everyone. Massage isn't for everyone. Medication isn't for everyone. If the cure to heal the problem that we have in this world, which is fast becoming the next pandemic, was hug a tree, Mark, there's not enough trees to go around. If the cure was eat an apple a day, there's not enough apples. But, you know, everybody has a psoas muscle. Everyone has that muscle. And yeah, 99% of people don't even know where it is. But we have that muscle in our back body, the hidden treasure. Fight, flight center. Fears and emotions are stored there. Everyone has that muscle, so everybody has the ability to release. They either have to be hungry enough to do it,
like
or curious,
anything,
and then they'll discover. Those with Parkinson's, I've worked with those with stroke, those with, amputees, cancer, and it's brought them the gift of peace in themselves with their past so they can move forward.
You're just making such an impact, and you have the power to really impact a lot more people as well, Caroline. I know you're a #1 best-selling author of the book Feel It to Heal It. Just tell us a little bit about that, Caroline, because I do want to talk about your cards as well.
So just quickly, Mark, look, there's the book. And actually you can see the psoas muscle sitting there. And this is about finding freedom. This book is about my journey, 9 years of experience, and amazing stories of those from all factors of society that have experienced the program. And that includes a chapter by a doctor, Dr. Alison Graham, a wonderful lady that adopted our program and shares with her patients. So yeah, it's a promises to be a read like nothing else. As the journalist that reviewed it said, this isn't a book for now, this is a book for all time.
Where can our viewers get a hold of that? I'm guessing Amazon, but is there a better way as well?
They can get the book direct from the website where we are. We can post that overseas. We're doing free postage in the UK. And yeah, if they want a signed copy, they can have that as well. But yeah, if Amazon is more convenient, of course, it's also available as an audio book on all the platforms. And many individuals across the world prefer to listen rather than to read. So there is something for everybody.
I would encourage everyone to get a copy of Feel It to Heal It at TREuk.com. That's TREuk.com. Now, this is the exciting part. Before the commercial break, I said we all suffer from stresses and we put stress into our bucket. But I said, who wants to fill their bucket with love? These are Caroline's incredible cards, Bucket Love. Now, tell us a little bit about these cards, the concept behind them, how they work, and I will quickly do a demonstration.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all need, if we get the concept of buckets, we all need bucket love. And we all do little things that can, in that moment of crisis, do something to make us feel that little bit better. And so again, during the pandemic, having written the book, I then set about creating the Bucket Love cards with a wonderful artist, Jennifer Garrity. And as you can see, Mark, they're lovely, wonderful. Every one of those cards is a different activity, might take us out the comfort zone, but there's an activity. So what do we got? Freedom. So the freedom cards are do whatever it is that makes you feel good. But there's everything in there, from nature to dancing, to breathe, to learn, to write. What do we got there? To meditate.
I like that one.
Yeah. And you know, the joy is they're wonderful for children as well. I say they're fun for one, relax. What's extraordinary about these, and I don't know if you found that, but you actually pick a card and it's, crikey, that's exactly what I needed today.
That is the thing, isn't it, Caroline? Sometimes you pick a card, and correct me if I'm wrong, all you do, you just pick one card a day. So say today I pick this card, I just have to focus on being grateful and having gratitude, and that can be the one key focus of the day. And just focusing in on one thing, it's not overwhelming because you just have to concentrate the mind on one thing. So I really highly recommend these cards. I think they can really impact what you're doing on a daily basis, and you only have to pick one card a day. So you might get the learn card, so spend some time educating yourself that day and learning. These are really, really unique. I said that to you, didn't I, Caroline? I would like everyone to get your Bucket Love cards at TREuk.com. That's TREuk.com, TREuk.com.
Thank you, Mark. And what is great about these is, you know, in classrooms with children, it introduces them to the concept of buckets without bringing in stress. It's about loving yourself and feeling good. And then that slowly build them on. The bucket's not always happy. Now let me show you how you can release from your bucket. So it's a great intro.
It really is. And what I like about it is everybody has got time to just make the effort to do one little task every single day. I really think they're really unique. And again, I encourage people to go out to get your Bucket Love cards at TREuk.com. That's TREuk.com. Caroline, I have thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you. I love what you're doing in this world. You're a great person doing great things. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's been an absolute privilege and pleasure.
I've really enjoyed the conversation with you. Thank you everyone for watching Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Until next time, bye for now.